Well, good morning and welcome to Breakfast Extra. And yes, Nigeria, congratulations. Now, I know that sounds very strange in a week like this with tensions high and security stories filling every single corner of the news cycle. But if you stay with me till the end, I bet you that I'll make you understand why that greeting actually matters even now. Now, since the moment United States President Donald Trump redesignated Nigeria as a country of concern, suggesting that Christians here are facing targeted violence, something shifted. I don't know if you've seen it, but something shifted, not just in government cycles, but in the media space. Headlines multiplied. Reports that might have gone unnoticed suddenly found their way to a louder megaphone. And many Nigerians are asking a very important question. Has the frequency of attacks increased, or are we simply reporting them more? Well, that's a fair question. And it matters in a period where every single story feels like it's being pulled into one narrative. So let's look at what has happened the past 1 week. We had the Kwara church attack. Tragic, frightening, and deeply unsettling. People were killed, families were shaken, schools even shut down in response. Naturally, many people tried to place it directly inside the broader conversation about religious targeting. But that same week, last week, we saw something different, which complicates the picture. The Kebbi schoolgirls kidnapping. 25 girls taken, a staff member killed. No church setting, no mosque setting, no religious theme at the center of it. Just raw insecurity created by criminals motivated by money, maybe leverage, or even the weakness of our security architecture. So 2 attacks, both painful, both scary, both real, but not the same at all. One happened in a religious environment, one happened with no religious elements at all. It becomes harder to argue that only one group is suffering then. Every week, every community seems to face its own share of danger, whether Christian or Muslim or neither. Now, this does not erase the pain of anyone. Let's get that right. It simply reminds us that Nigeria's security is a complex national problem, not a single storyline. Then we can consider the role of the United States. Their inquiry into events in Nigeria has generated reactions from both sides, from those who believe Christians are under organized attack and those who believe the framing is too narrow. So one voice online quoted by Oge Onuboku, senior fellow and director of the Africa programs at CSIS, she made a point worth repeating. She said, Nigeria's insecurity often affects people based on location, poverty, weak policing, and criminal opportunity, not purely religious identity. Let's remember that. Her insight highlights the complexity of the issue. Yes, religion can be a factor in some incidents, but it's not the only factor, and it's not always the driving force. Still, however, it is fair to say that some incidents do fit that genocide narrative on the surface, while others directly contradict it. And that tension is exactly why we must stay calm and be honest about what we know and what we are still trying to understand. So the big question is, where does all this leave us? Well, strangely, it leaves us with something Nigeria has not had in a long time. Genuine attention in the form of international, national, and policy attention. For the very first time in a very long time, Nigerians have spent a full week talking about insecurity without turning it into political campaign material. No election calculations, no party against party, just the country forced to look inward and outward at the same time, which is a very interesting place to be. And that brings me back to the beginning. Congratulations, Nigeria. Not because things are good, because obviously they aren't, but because for once, we paused the usual noise. For once, our leaders are beginning to be reminded loudly that the world is watching and that protecting Nigerians is not a favor, it's actually their duty. If all this global attention leads to stronger action, clearer communication, and better protection for Nigerians, whether Christian or Muslim or otherwise, then maybe this very difficult week gone past will push us in the right direction. So, once again, let's continue to hope that after now, we continue to see effort, not just from outside of Nigeria, but especially from within, with those that we have entrusted with our protection. Once again, I say welcome to Breakfast Extra. My name is Mazino Appeal, and of course, I am not alone. Today, we have the delectable Queen Celestine. Queen, hi, how are you?
Morning, Mazino. How are you?
I'm grand. I'm good. Are you ready for another weekend of grand show?
I am, and it was an amazing monologue. I like the fact that you pointed out that this is not just, the attention is now on Nigeria. You know, it's been a while that we focused on Nigeria to see what's happening. And it's getting closer and closer. It's now in Kwara. Kwara to Lagos is not
I know,
that far.
right? I know.
So we hope that things will change.
Indeed. How about I come over and let's talk more about this. Once again, to our audience, you're welcome. Thank you.